Wow, Guardians of the Galaxy actually has very positive reviews. It's 93% positive on Steam. That's kind of fascinating. Although, I will not complain about that because I myself, I think the game is really good actually. Saying 93%, like 9.3 out of 100? No, no, not that high, but it's still a good game. I'm gonna tell you why. First of all, we can just say that I have played for about a little over 18 hours and I finished the story in about that time. Now, this time includes a lot of going other directions, searching, looking for skins and other collectibles. Did not find them all, unfortunately, and this time also includes too much dying, I'm gonna say. Now, there are some things that I don't like about this game, but we'll take this one step at a time. Let's start. Let's start with the most basic thing here, the story. It's very basic. That's about all I can say almost. Uh, the the story is it's good. The story is good, but it's nothing great or anything like that. I mean, religious nuts who want to take over the world, the planet, the galaxy, the universe, whatever. That's kind of used a lot of times. And also on top of that, we have the followers who are being fooled by the leader. I mean, a bunch of followers who are getting, well, tricked by the leader and then basically just used for cannon fodder or something similar to that. Yeah, that's about the story. Not great, but good enough. I do like the story actually. There are other things that do take over that makes the game great or much better. The story is just follow along in the story and you'll be good. And the characters and all of that looks great. I think the graphics are really good. As you can see from the gameplay, it looks good, but also kind of jagged, if you want to call it that. But keep in mind, I could not play on the highest settings, unfortunately. But even with my kind of graphics, I think the game still looked good. The world looks great, the movements, the animations, even the mouth movements, the synchronizations looked great to me. I found little to no issue with the graphics and the world building or how it looked. I'm actually kind of amazed at how good it looks on my computer. Here, of course, as you can see, it might not look that good, but I can live with that. I can live with that. The thing that sets this apart most to me, and definitely the thing that makes this game something else and something really good, is the characters. The characters in this game are awesome. If you have seen the movies of Guardians of the Galaxy, you can really feel the characters in the game. I mean, they're not the same, but basically the same. I really like the characters and how they're portrayed, especially Mantis because she's portrayed in a more funny, weird, and good way at the same time. She's not that helpless creature that follows along in the Guardians. She's actually someone who can uh, put up a fight and actually do some really good things. I mean, she's not useless in any way in the movies, but to me, in the game here, she feels a lot more of a character. She doesn't get a lot of time like many of the other side characters, but she gets enough time to really, well, shine, I would say. Same with, of course, all of the Guardians characters. All of the Guardians, the Star-Lord, Rocket, Groot, Drax and Gamora. All of them get really good screenplay, and we all get to know the characters a lot, especially if you collect the collectibles that exist in the game that are unique to, well, all of the characters. You can, for example, find a assassin ring, it's called, when you find it in Gamora's room, and then you get to talk with her about that ring and what it means to her, and so on. This really fleshes out the characters a lot. Now, of course, the bad guys and side characters don't get this, but I still like the characters. The voice actors do a great job giving them life. I love the conversations between the Guardians of the Galaxy team where they insult one another or just talk about real things. This includes both in when you're in the Mantis, or sorry, the ship you have, and also when you're out walking on a planet and doing a mission, the characters can sometimes start talking about things that have happened or things that are happening right now, and it's great. Sometimes you get the prompt to actually cut in and as a Star Lord and say something as well, and I love that. It really fleshes out all of the characters and makes them feel more alive, like it's a real team, they're really friends that are going on a big mission, and they joke to each other, they insult each other, and they talk. I mean, it's better than when they're just moving along and talk randomly at special places. I mean, these go in this game, they can talk about whatever, whenever. They sometimes comment on what you're doing, like for example, if they say, "Oh, this is the way to the mission," and I'm like, "I want to go here," and I go off-site to look at because I want to find some collectible or anything. They can actually comment, "Where are you going? Going, this is the way," and so on and so forth. And I love that. I like that they can comment because it's so funny when you're playing like a game and someone says, "Oh, we need to hurry," and you're like, "Yeah, but first I'm gonna go this way and loot this." This time they actually comment on that and say, "What are you doing?" And the humor in the game, well, like most superhero movies with humor and all comedy movies and comedy games, it's a hit and miss at times, and it's a hit sometimes, a miss sometimes, and you know the deal. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it just is. But generally, humor is good. Generally. Okay, let's get to the meat of the game. And now to the big thing about the game that I think most people are, I I would say, most excited for, or most, well, concerned about. The combat. The combat to me is good, mostly because I think it fits the game and the narrative and the world. It's very team-based, and that makes sense to me as the Guardians are supposed to be a team. Uh, you need to buy abilities for each Guardian, and they cost different amounts of skill points. Now, some might say that it's annoying to almost freeze up the combat, because once you press shift and you zoom in on an enemy and you press shift to order one of your teammates to attack, the time slows down, and this almost freezes up the combat. And some people seem to think that it's annoying that it freezes up the combat and you always need to tell your team what to do. And yeah, sure, you can say that, but would you rather they did what they wanted with their limited abilities? Personally, I like using my teammates' abilities at the right time to really get a combo going and just annihilate the enemy. Like for instance, if you can set up the smaller enemies in a big, well, together, and you entangle them with Groot's roots, and then you send in Gamora to use her Assassin Strike ability where she dodges between, or she dashes between enemies and slices them all up. Or maybe, for instance, using Drax's rush ability where he rushes the enemy, knocks them up in the air, and then they fall down, and then you tell Rocket to throw in a grenade and they all just die. I mean, combos like that makes me smile. I love doing that. And as I said, of course you control Star-Lord and you're not helpless. Once you've gotten some of your own abilities, you can really get with the hovering ability, which I rarely used actually, but that you can get away from enemies that really likes to attack you. You can get away from them, and just try to get a more of a controlled view of everything on the battlefield. And uh, of course, you can then zoom in on enemies, or not zoom in, sorry, so aim at an enemy and then send your teammates to attack, because when they do that, they will instantly attack. Gamora will, for example, she will teleport to an enemy if you order her to do a strike. She will teleport to that enemy and attack it. Really works really well to me. And of course, it's really fun to use the combat in a way that makes it seem like they're a team, that you can feel that you are a part of a team, because that is what combat is in this game to me. It's a team-based combat. It's part strategic and part just reckless fun. I mean, you need to be strategic in how you use the abilities, because some abilities would be just not useful against some enemies. For example, enemies that are flying. If you try to use Gamora's slice ability on them when they're flying, they're just gonna dodge and you will miss. When they are close to the ground, you can root them and then use Gamora on them, or you can use Star-Lord's freeze ammunition. He gets different kinds of ammunition throughout the game, and one of them is freezing. Now, all of the Guardians are unique. I can also say they're all unique in how you need to use them. For example, Drax he's very good at stunning enemies. Groot has a lot of crowd control. Um, Rocket has a lot of AoE abilities, and Gamora is single target high damage. And you, Star-Lord, well, I would say you're a bit of a mix, but mostly multi-target, because you have 3 abilities, or 4 abilities, you count the ultimate. 3 abilities mostly that do anything. One of them is a hovering, then you have rapid firing and grenades. And well, most of them can damage multiple enemies, but not at the same time, I would say, with the rapid shooting thing. So you're a bit of a mix, but it all pans out in the end. Makes it really satisfying to take down a group of enemies to me. And now, for the things I did not like about this game. Yeah, there are a few things. Let me start with the QTEs, or quick time events. Quick time events, for those who doesn't know, is when you're in a cutscene and your character is about to do something, and to do this thing you need to press that button at that time, or rapidly press this button. Otherwise the character will fail and either die or just fail at the attempt. These things came as a bit of a surprise for me, actually. On at least 2 occasions. I almost failed completely on the first one, and I very much failed on the second one. Unfortunately, this is the case. The game has some QTE modes. Another thing that I'm not a fan of is the I'm not sure if this is some kind of lag or input lag in the game, but I've seen some problems when, for example, jumping over things. You can double jump, use your jet boots to like travel a little further up, and I've used so many times when I would try to jump across something, I've missed or just completely failed at the jump and he hasn't triggered the jet boots and I've fallen to my death. Most times when you fall, it's no big issue. You will just respawn at the top, losing a bit of health. If you have no health left though and you fall down, or little to no health, you will die. This is really annoying because I have also seen this when, for example, you have these moments where you're sliding down a steep hill and you're supposed to jump to an edge and grab it or just jump to a platform. And I do press the jump and I press the jump again, but either the first jump doesn't register or the second jump doesn't register and I fall to my death. It gets really annoying, especially considering how much the landscape of the game is actually made for this. It's made for the kind of traversal. And combat has its own fair share of this as well. Now, dodging in combat works as you double tap a direction button, like double tapping A, S, D, or W. When it works, which is actually most of the time, it works great. You jump or slide in one of the directions. When it doesn't work, it leaves you very much open because instead of attacking or running around, you just stand there and you get hit. So either you die or you lose some health. And believe me, health is very precious in this game. You do have a shield as well on top of your health, but that shield regenerates very slowly. Another problem I've seen in combat is that some enemies, or for some enemies, your teammates, the other guardians, they don't exist. Especially snipers and grenade launcher enemies loves to focus on you, Star-Lord. And it's really annoying. It can drop your health like that. It goes down really fast. Now this also depends on if you can dodge the grenades and hit special sniper shots, of course. And if you're quick about it and you know where the snipers are, you can quickly take them out using Gamora or Rocket or yourself. But yeah, I have had my fair share of annoying snipers and grenade launcher enemies because of yeah, they like all love to focus me instead of my teammates. Now your teammates can go down, they are not immortal, so you might need to revive them from time to time. Unfortunately, they can't revive you, not even a single time, which is too bad. I mean, I can revive them as many times as I need, but they can't revive me a single time, which is too bad, in my opinion. I would love to if they could at least revive me once per combat, or once every 5 minutes, or something like that. So, as a conclusion, the game, I think it's really good. I think it's really good. Actually, I'm very surprised at that. I didn't think I would find this game to be very good, but I really like it. Well, that's a good thing. Now, there are some bad things, some good things, but if I had to give this game a number, I'll say an 8 out of 10. Yes, an 8 out of 10, or a very strong 7. Now, that's been it for me. Have you played the game yourself? Do you have any other opinions, or is it something you want to add to my review here? Please feel free to leave it in the comments. I've been Swip92, have a great life, and I hope to see you in future videos. Bye bye!